the true definition of leadership is you serve. You serve the people around you with all your love, with all your wisdom, with all your energy, with everything you got. So, and when the day comes where you can't, where you're weak, where you have a bad week, a bad month, they can carry you. Not many people get rich from investing per se. Investing is a great vehicle to park excess cash. If you want to get rich, build something that gives you active cash flow, like a business, for example, like any source of income, and just stack money and then live below your means. So then you have excess cash.
Man, I can't believe a chicken makes more money than me on the fucking stock market. This is a new law, man. This is a new law. You can only control being the best version of yourself. Everything else is chance. It's timing. If your definition of success is avoiding failure, you will never be successful. Because failing fast and failing gracefully will accelerate the process of learning the lessons you need to in order to become successful.
I think it's less what you're remembered for. It's more who you're remembered by. I think if you touch the right people, I don't mind if 10,000 people remember me or 10. If those 10 remember me fondly, if those 10 remember me as...
Max, what did it take for you to build one of the biggest dating brands in the world? How much work, what sort of sacrifice did it take back then?
Man, what a great question to start with. I think it was a lot of naivety, a lot of all-in mentality, completely crazy. I mean, I was 23 years old. I had, in essence, nothing to lose. Nothing was keeping me anywhere, right? So I think I was also at the right place at the right time. And I was just going all in. I was full on going all in when I had the opportunity to move temporarily to the States, to do an unpaid internship, to get in a debt, to quit university, quit my job, and just kind of pull all this to the side. Logically speaking, it didn't make much sense. And to be honest, I put my chances of winning, of succeeding less than 5%, I would say. But at the same time, I thought, look, I'm 23 years old. I don't think I can fuck up much other than me trying really hard and then coming back from the States back to Austria and everybody making fun of me and it not working. And I guess I have debt, but whatever, I can work that off. So, I thought about, like, what if I'm, 90 years old, I'm on my deathbed, and I'm going to think back to this opportunity. And I'm not going to be mad if I failed, but I will be mad if I have these two words, what if, in my head. What would have happened if I had taken that chance? Because I know opportunities don't come, they're not plentiful. Some opportunities just have to take. So yeah, I took that and a little bit of luck, I guess, as well.
If someone was to do what you did, and I don't mean specifically the dating brand thing, but to undertake the journey from going from someone who played video games and was lazy and completely average to someone fit, successful, competent, respected in a field and people, looking up to him, what are the key areas has to improve on to become that kind of person?
It really depends. So your question specifically says, like,
what are the qualities of someone making it?
I hear you. It depends on what you define as making it. If you define making an extra 5 to 10K a month next to your family, right, next to taking care of kids, full-time job, it doesn't require as much. Just be smart about it and be really efficient with your time. Find a mentor. This sounds like super sleazy now. Oh, he just wants us to sell his mentoring program. No, just find any mentor. Don't pay me, pay someone else. Do what they say. If you want to do it like I did, I would have not been happy with 5 to 10K a month. I wanted everything. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to build an empire. I wanted to have a large company. I mean, my current company is about to crack 8 figures a year. I mean, not this year anymore, but then next year we're super close to $1 million a month. Nice. I have over 40 employees all over the world. We've been getting all these awards. We've been working with over 19,000 people over our low ticket programs, over 3,600 people over our mentoring. So that on that level, you're going to have to go all in. There's no way around that. Nothing Just you got to go all in.
Mm-hmm.
The way I went all in is like really all in, meaning I thought like, okay, if I want to become more successful and work harder, I need to be fitter, because if I slow my brain down with sugars, high fructose corn syrup, processed carbohydrates, I'm not going to be at my best. If
Yeah.
I go out drinking with my buddies, I'm not going to be at my best. If I don't get proper sleep, I'm not going to be at my best. So I just put like everything I did every day was in the service of that greater goal of becoming the best, the biggest brand. And it was back then with the dating company as much as it is with the current company. I don't want to be
Mm-hmm.
good. I don't want to be really good. I want to be the best. So everything I do is on that goal. Um, and again, like it starts with food and sleep and the physiological side of things, but it doesn't end there. It keeps going. That also means when I don't cook, I have a chef. The moment I could afford a chef, I got a chef. That chef cooks for perfect macros. It's not just a random chef. That chef doesn't make me shitty food. But when I do get the food, what am I doing? I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook hands free. When I put the stuff into the dishwasher, when I brush my teeth, audiobooks all day long, all
Mm.
the time. I want to keep learning. I don't want to miss a single minute. The only thing where I'm allowed to listen to music is at the gym, but even the warm up at the gym, I'll still do audiobooks. But at the gym itself, I'll listen to music just so it can lock in a little bit better. And then I have a winding down playlist of 5 songs that I listen to when I'm done with today's work. That's basically it.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything you do should serve that one goal. And every vice that you have, it's okay to have vices, but think about it like, is this worth it? And now me indulging in that vice, is that the version of me that is eventually going to get to that goal, to that North Star? Or is that a lower version of me that eventually needs to become extinct?
That makes absolute sense, man. So I see you optimizing a lot for towards the things that serve you, towards your ideal. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, especially in this world of distractions.
Yeah.
Because everyone is telling you, do this, you better do. Oh, are you kidding me? You're doing ice baths? That's not gonna work at all. Who do you think you are? You need to do saunas, and you have so many conflicting opinions. You're like,
Yeah.
can you? You just need to do in the work. Just lock in, do the work, optimize for efficiency, and
Mhm.
yeah, just stay in the game long enough, I guess.
Yeah. And also really kind of develop a little bit of a feeling of what works well for you and what your body responds to well.
Mm,
I think that's a big one too. Um, for example, I've experimented around with lots of different diets. I've been vegetarian for 12 years, which worked great until it didn't. Um, Another thing is food itself. I respond well to being on a diet, but at a certain threshold, I would say lower than 120 grams, 130 grams of carbs per day, I get brain foggy. It doesn't work for me. Other people can do keto and they work on keto super well. I couldn't do
yeah,
keto. I do like my
yeah,
carbs. So figure out things which works best for you, regardless of hype. Do try the ice bath. See if it rings your bell, right? Do try the sauna. If you like it, do it. If it feels good, do it. I think a lot of people are trying to approach this very dogmatically. Well, so and so said ice baths are really good, so they got to be
yeah.
good. Yeah, scientifically they can, but everybody's physiology and everybody's psychology are very different. So feel free to experiment around and really kind of find something that subjectively works best for you.
Right. No, nice one. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about dating. What do you make about the modern dating scene? How does it differ from back in the time where maybe things were simpler before,
Mhm.
dating apps and social media? Maybe I would say ruined, but if not ruined at best, they added a lot of complexity in the way
Yeah.
people meet and date.
Well, it's interesting because back then, as a dating coach, that was almost 10 years ago. I was very much in the trenches. Now, much less so. I got
Of
engaged
course.
a couple of weeks ago, so I'm, very differently approaching this. I'm 35 years old now, but what I see from a lot of my single friends and younger single friends, especially, is social media, social media, social media. Social media has thrown a monkey wrench into this whole thing. So,
Mm,
that it has advantages and disadvantages. The advantages, if you're a guy and you know how to make social media work for you, you build a personal brand. And it's not about followers. It's just about what do people see when they land on your Instagram profile, and what do these posts paint as a picture about you.
Mhm.
Is it, hey, this guy's lonely and alone in every single photo, and he doesn't do much. Every single photo is a selfie of him in his car, versus, okay, this guy travels a lot. He has hobbies. He snowboards here. He's playing paintball over here. He plays chess. He has attractive female friends. He has family. He cares about his family. He's at
Mhm.
the gym.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden the cool thing is you could have a fleeting discussion in a gym. You just approach someone attractive and you had a 30-second interaction. You exchanged Instagram, and the Instagram does a lot of the warm up for you. The girl looks at the Instagram and is like, oh cool, I just talked for 30 seconds to this guy, but he's actually pretty interesting, right? But at the same time, conversely, every single attractive woman that is on Instagram, all of a sudden she's getting validated from guys all over the world,
Yeah.
not just the village or the town or the city that she's in. There's a billionaire in Dubai, and of course that guy is like, oh, I'll fly you in my private jet. So all of a sudden the standards are getting really, really high. Now there's always been winners or losers, even before social media. You just have to understand how it works and how to make the best
Mhm.
out of your situation. And then, of course, on top of that, there is really attractive women out there that are not on Instagram all the time. They don't give
Yeah.
a damn about how many, whatever Dubai guy is in her inbox. Like, that's one of the reasons why I proposed to my now fiance, because she was one of these extremely attractive women that never cared. I mean, obviously she is. She's on Instagram all day long, but she's just looking at cat content. It's like her cat content fix. That's all she does on Instagram. So there's still women like that out there. So if I was a guy now and I'm single, I would just go all in on social media. I would do cool things, and I would make sure this is documented on my social media, because it would just have a huge effect on that. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't learn about social interactions and social dynamics, because eventually you're going to have to meet physically in person. No matter how cool your
Right.
Instagram is, if you're weird and awkward in person, it ain't going to help you. So do
Oh,
work on that as well.
all right. So then let's hear it from the master of social dynamics. Um, what do you think men get wrong the most about trying to pursue a woman, and what do you think women get wrong the most when trying to attract a guy nowadays?
Good question, man. I would say men are too try hard and too direct. I think those are the two biggest ones. Men are just needy. We're just needy little
Yeah.
boys, most of us. Funny enough, also most guys that amount to anything in life are doing that because they think it's getting them girls.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone, but I
Yeah.
mean, I've worked with men for over 10 years as a dating coach. I've had extremely successful men. Most of them were my clients. I'm talking about dentists, lawyers, doctors, managers, CEOs of companies, Navy SEALs, extreme sports athletes, actors. It's crazy. I've had so many people in my programs or in person, and they would be extremely successful on the surface, but they also felt almost like betrayed by life, because their entire life they've been told, go study hard, go make a lot of money, go become
Yeah.
successful, become that doctor, and women will find it attractive. And then they walk up to a girl in a nightclub or at a bar or in the library, and they're like, hey, I'm a doctor. And the girl's like, well, I don't care. Who the fuck are you? Go away. So number one, they're too needy, because the balance is just different. If you're an 18-year-old girl or a 25-year-old girl, you're young, you're attractive,
Yeah.
you're very much in your prime.
Everyone wants you. Yeah.
Everyone wants you, and you're just like, no matter how cool you are, you're one out of 100 cool guys that want to get with you, with her. So you will never face that kind of abundance unless you're, a rock star or a movie star, or extremely popular. And that fucks with our brain. So we are by default much more needy and much more scarcity than any attractive woman out there.
Mm.
So naturally, we become more needy. On top of that, you have social conditioning of like, be nice, go out of your way, be gentlemanly. And I'm not saying this is wrong, but what I'm saying is a lot of guys think about this too directly. They think about it in terms of a transaction. Like, well, if I hold the door open and if I tell her that I support feminism, then I need to get her. Like, she needs to give me her validation. She needs to give me her sexuality, instead of like them actually believing it, right? It's not that women want a cavalier. It's not that women want someone that is nice. Women want someone that is being themselves. A guy that is just being himself. That's what's important. So if you hold the door open and you're a cavalier expecting something in return, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
And that brings me to this whole being too direct, right? So when you're a doctor, you're like, well, I'm going to tell her I'm a doctor, and then she will be impressed. Women don't operate in that direct manner. They operate in subtleties. So I would honestly always make shit up when a girl would ask me what I did. I was like, oh, I'm an astronaut or I'm a spy. I would just give as many funny, completely obvious fake answers, at least in the first couple of minutes of the interaction, because that would do so many things. Number one, it's very subtle, which means if I really am cool, she sees it from my behavior, not from what I'm saying. She sees it from how I'm saying it instead of what I'm saying. So she would
Yeah.
actually think, well, this guy had all the opportunity to impress me, but he clearly doesn't care. I would say things like, I'm homeless, right? Like, or like, you know, like I work at a gas station. Gasoline is my hobby. Like it's my passion. I would be so ridiculous that I'm actually sub-communicating that I'm cool because I don't care about it, right? And
Yeah.
then the other thing this would do is like, it would make it really fun for me too, which in essence communicates that I have abundance because the girl is like, you're like the 10th guy that talks to me today. Everybody tried to impress
And
me.
she can pick it from your energy, because when you communicate that way, you're just so loose, and you attract. You attract.
Exactly. And this kind of this energy is always important. It's important when you're I've been together with my fiance for almost 10 years now. I still try to make fun of her every now and then. I think it's important in a relationship to just kind of show I'm not taking things seriously. And it also makes things fun for you, man. Like I've had so many entrepreneurs that are like, I was working 16 hours today, I'm managing a team, and then they would talk to the girl and they would be in that same mind frame. And you really have to learn to appreciate the silly talk and being a completely silly guy,
Sure.
especially when you're working and you got to be on point all day.
Right. So then that brings me to the question of, who do you think has it more difficult? Is it men or women?
I think women have it more difficult, man.
How so?
Well, they have it really easy at first, and then they don't realize how it's gradually becoming more difficult. It's kind of like that analogy of um a frog. You know, you throw a frog into hot water, it jumps out, but you throw a frog into cold water and you heat it up slowly, it will never realize it until it boils to death. So I work with a lot of women nowadays, and a lot of women tell me the same. They said, like, look, like all of a sudden you notice you get less and less attention, less and less guys are there to help you, and you realize, like, oh my god, people aren't nice to me because they're nice. They're nice to me because I was attractive or I am attractive. They're nice to me as long as I'm attractive. And I think that's much more of a mind fuck than for men. For men, it's like you're 16, 17, you hitting puberty, you like girls, nobody gives a fuck about you. You're always the scum of the earth. Like you're never, you can't get into nightclubs, right? Sorry, not today. Like how many times have we men experienced? We wanted to go out and we just got rejected at the door, no matter how much hair pomade we put in our fucking hair, no matter how much we tried. A girl doesn't get rejected at the fucking door as long as she's attractive. So, I mean, how many times have women ever experienced real rejection? Very rarely. And when they say, well, you know, maybe there's women now like, oh, I've experienced real rejection. No, you haven't really. Not on the level of a guy. Like, as a guy, you can talk to 100 women in a day and you get 100 rejections. Show me that as a woman, and you don't even need to be super attractive to not get rejected that much. So I think it's still more difficult as a woman because a lot of men are gonna get their feathers ruffled when you're trying to be successful. A lot of men are gonna have their ego come in when you're competing with them. We men have fragile egos, and I'm not even talking about bearing children, man. Pregnancy, giving birth.
That's a big one.
I have nothing but respect for women in this regard. Like mothers.
Oh, mothers
create the world, man. And
the most important people.
Amen to that, dude. You're sacrificing your body. You have a baby. It's ransacking your body, and you still love that child. That child is almost breaking your body.
Man, a mother will be the only person, perhaps, that will love you. The only person who will love you unconditionally in your life, no matter what you do. You can be a criminal, you can be a murderer. maybe your wife will love you, but perhaps, as most of the case right now, she will break up with you and go for another option. But your
Yeah.
mother will still be there when you go back to her to cry about your wife that just left you.
Yeah.
So respect to all the mothers, man.
Amen to that. Really, it's so beautiful that you say that. I owe so much to my mom. She brought us up, me and two other siblings after she got divorced from my dad, and she worked her ass off. She would work full-time job after full-time job. She would study on the weekends to get a degree in psychotherapy. She's now one of the
Wow.
best psychotherapists in her region. She is love embodied. She's pure unconditional love. And the older I get, the more I realize this. And part of the reason why I'm still in business and I'm still making money, even though I made enough for myself already, I'm like, I want to give back to my mom. I don't want her to
Of course.
ever worry. And she's getting older, like whenever I'm back in Austria, there's new white hair and a couple more
Yeah.
wrinkles. And you're like, it hurts, man. It hurts to see your mom.
And they get older way more, like, it's not like gradual, it's very sudden.
Yeah.
It's like children grow up very suddenly, and then once your parents reach this 55 plus age, every year you don't see them, they're way and way more older, and it breaks your heart. It breaks my heart when I see my mother. It's like, I
Yeah.
wish I could just retire you right now, man.
I know, man. It's like, that's the world how it is. So I think women have it harder, and I got nothing but respect for them. And especially when they're older and they're like, kids are out of the house. I'm in my
Mm,
second prime. I wanna build a business. I want to do something, And so many men are
right.
trying to hold them back, and their partners are trying to hold them back. So as a woman, if you're a mother and you've done a lot of that already, and you're putting yourself back in, trying something new, building a business, I got nothing but respect for you. And like I said, I've worked with so many women, and they're creative, and they got
Mm,
work ethic, and they're focused, and they're asking good
yeah.
questions, and they have no ego. And I'm like, this is such a joy to work with. So overall, yeah, I think women have it harder, and I think they're stronger than us men. But at the same time, men have it hard too. You just got to step up either way, man.
Right. Beautiful. Nice one. Nice one. All right. So, looking back now, it's been 10 years or whatever. Is there one thing that pickup artistry taught you that you never thought it will teach you? Something
Mm.
like unexpected, like, man, I'm so much wiser now, and I realize I've learned this, and that.
There's a lot of lessons that I expected to learn: how to deal with
Okay.
rejection, how to be able to read people. I got really good at sales just from talking to so many people. I
Mm.
didn't know.
But was
Yeah,
there anything that you didn't expect to learn?
Yeah, I would say sales. Like, I did not expect to be
Sales.
good at sales. Like,
Oh, okay.
when I started having a bigger team back in, I mean, I started having a pretty big team in 2019 already, but I wasn't involved with sales. And then in 2020-ish, I started getting involved, especially with cold traffic sales. And I would quality control my closers. And I'd never been in a sales call as a closer myself, but I would listen to their calls, and I'm like, oh, this is just like, well, the person that they're trying to sell, they're saying this, but actually they mean this. And I was kind of
Mm.
flabbergasted how they didn't see that. I'm like, you guys don't hear this? Like, I mean, listen to their tonality. It's super obvious. And they're like, no, how do you know this? I'm like, well, it's just like when you talk to someone in a club or at a date. So I really figured out it has so many parallels to that. So I would say empathy, knowing people, reading people,
Mm. Yeah.
communicating. Those are things that I would have never thought would be extrapolatable to sales, but it is. It's pretty interesting.
And pretty much everything is sales in life, right?
Yeah, man.
Is trying to get a new job. The interview is a sales pitch for yourself. When you go get a girl, when you try and want a promotion, everything is a sales pitch,
True.
one more subtle than the other. But if you don't understand how it works and you become the needy salesman, like the door-to-door now is like, please buy my thing, please promote me. I'm a good guy. I've been a good boy for 1 year. Can I have this position? You soon gonna figure out, life will slap you in the face and find out the hard way.
True.
All right. So back in the day, you had this program called Fearless, and I think basically you help men overcome the fears towards getting a girl or dating a girl. The fears you help them conquer were fear of rejection, fear of running out of things to say, also like perfectionism, fear of other people, what other people would think of me, of judgment, fear of other guys, and fear of just not being good enough. I wonder, what is your relationship with fear? Not how necessarily with women, because you don't need that anymore, but fear of anything, of starting a new business, of
Mm.
launching a new product, of being looking like a fool in front of your peers. How do you think about it, and how do you deal with it?
It's a you go much more in depth with fear, and there you start getting to know many different facets of fear. The newest, it's almost like you uncover more and more layers of fear that you didn't know
Right.
existed. Because fear can be very sneaky. Like a lot of things that you do or that you don't do are you're not doing them, or you are doing them out of fear of something. So the latest thing I discovered about fear was a lot of time. I'm 35 now. I've been through a lot of shit. I've built many businesses, failed a lot of times, failed probably more than I didn't fail. And
Mm.
and it makes you really anxious. Like anything you do, when you really peek behind the curtain, you're immediately starting to see the worst case scenario because you have been through the worst case scenario so many times. So you're like, okay, well, we're making all this money right now, but what if this happens? What if we hire too many people, or what if we don't hire enough people? What if we close too many too fast? What if we don't close them fast enough? What if the industry, now there's this crisis and the politics and World War III and uh, trying to
Mm.
make a family, like all these things, and at some point I was thinking back to me when I was in my early 20s, how carefree I was, how little to worry I had. I was like, whatever, I'll be fine. And I was almost mad at myself. I'm like, here I am at 35 and I'm anxious about all these worst case scenarios, and every day there's another worst case scenario that I'm thinking about. But then I realized that's not a bad thing. That's not anxiety. You know what it is instead? It's wisdom. Wisdom just
Mm.
means you're aware of what could
Direction.
happen. Yeah. And just like I had to relearn my relationship with fear of talking to someone attractive back when I was 20, where instead of saying, oh, I'm so scared of talking to this super beautiful girl, I had to reframe it to, well, I'm nervous, of course, because she's very attractive and I'm excited about this. And my hands are sweating and my knees are shaking because this is a great situation for me. This is like something that counts here. This is someone I really want to get to know. And in a very same manner, I had to reframe that anxiety of the worst case scenario, as many entrepreneurs undoubtedly have at some point sooner or later, into like, well, it's fucking wisdom, man. Like, of course you're fucking worried about this because it's your fucking job. When you have a big multi 7 figure a year business and you got employees, and the employees do all the hard work, they're doing all the hustle work, right? I mean, I got a VA that manages my calendar. I got a sales team that does my sales. I got a great coaching team that takes over some of the accountability for our clients. I got all these people that do the grunt work, so to speak. So what's my fucking job? My job is not just to count the money and think I'm cool. My job is to be fucking worried and make sure we have a future in the next 5 to 10 years. So
Right.
that's wisdom, man. That's my fucking job. So yeah, maybe it sucks, but ultimately you got to have a stoic mindset about it. You have to grow that muscle, that resistance muscle. When you're lifting weights for the first time, it also hurts and it's weird. But over time, you like it. You like the feeling of pushing against the pain. So it's very much the same with that fear. You like the feeling of being fearful, as weird and masochistic it sounds.
You embrace it. You
Yeah,
embrace it because it just shows that you care a lot for it. The more fearful you are, it means like you really care about this and you don't want it to get wrong. If you didn't give a fuck, if you didn't care, you wouldn't be fearful. You would be like you were back in your 20s. You're like, who cares? I'm gonna figure something out because you had nothing to lose. But
yeah,
now, not only you have so much to lose, everyone who counts on you to get paid has so much to lose to feed their families,
yeah.
right?
Amen to that.
Right, and something you said in the beginning of this topic is that you failed a lot. And something that is not often talked about is our relationship with failure. If your definition of success is avoiding failure, you will never be successful.
Mm.
Because failing fast and failing gracefully will accelerate the process of learning the lessons you need to in order to become successful. Whereas other people who are afraid of failure, it's going to take them 10 years longer than you to go there because they are not going to learn the lessons that you need to learn from failure. So this is, I think, something we just need to more familiarize ourselves, how you need to look toward the failure because it's a lesson, and lessons are that make you, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's exactly that, man. And I don't know if this has always been like that or if this is something unique to our generation because we're being fed with social media so much and everybody just fakes their crazy lifestyle and says they make way more money
Hmm.
than they do. And everybody nobody talks about their failures of like, hey guys, shit year day 360, I still suck and I've had another
Yeah.
failure. Nobody makes videos like that. They're all like, oh, I'm so successful. They either don't post or they post when they're making it. And I'm literally guilty of this too. Like whenever I don't post a lot, it's either because I've been losing and I just don't feel like posting, or I'm actually super hardcore in the grind and I'm just too fucking busy. But then once we're winning, I'm like, oh, wow, let me post that win here, motherfuckers. Let me set that out. So, I'm not sure if this is unique to us. Maybe it's always been like that, but it's just amplified through social media. But I
It
wish
is, yeah, because
people
you see, yeah,
go ahead.
because you see Alex Hormozis and the Gary V's and all these people who are constantly winning. Every single post is them making another million and another 10 billion subscribers, or I don't even know what. And you're like, how do they so effortlessly do it? And then um, Hormozi, who I really look up, he just speaks to me, he speaks my language. He said, well, for 12 years, I ate dirt. Like, literally, I failed for 10 years consecutively, and the
Yeah.
last 2 years I've been making money. And you almost don't believe it because you keep seeing the wins.
Yeah,
But that's not
exactly.
reality.
Yeah. I really want to encourage more people to just fucking fail, man. Like
Yeah.
part of the reason why I want to spend the rest of my life with my fiance is because she never cared. Like she met me when I was riding a high of my first business, and then she was with me when I was riding my high on my second business, the second multi-million-dollar business I did. And then she was with me when I rode the low of that, when things started falling apart and I had to figure stuff out and I had to work ultra fucking hard. And she never gave a shit. She never gave a
Yeah.
single damn. She never cared where um what fucking hotel we're gonna go to. I would say, hey, what 5-star hotel do you want to go? What country do you want to travel to? And her answer would always be the same. Her answer would always be, I don't care as long as it's with you. And she really meant it. And I've been in really nice places with her, and I've been in really shitty places with her. She never cared. And I
Mm.
think that is also important as a man. I can only tell you from a man's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Get someone that doesn't care how successful you are because it helps
Yeah.
you. It gives you more permission to fail. And when you have more permission to fail, you have more chances to win.
And when she says, "Oh, I don't care as long as I'm with you," what does that mean? What does that say is that I believe in you. Like no
Mhm.
matter what, I believe in you. You're gonna make it. Like this is temporary. This is a
Damn.
roadblock. You've done it. Like I know you're gonna do it. And imagine how much more successful you can be with someone like that by your side. Oof, man,
You tell me, I never thought about
insane.
it that way, but you have 100% good point, man. It basically means they trust you.
Yeah.
Damn. Blew my mind there.
All right. So I would love for you to rank these 5 pillars of success from the least important to the most important. Cool.
Yeah.
So we have, let's do it. So we have mindset, delayed gratification, resilience, focus, and discipline.
I think in the beginning, resilience is least important because you haven't failed a lot yet. Still very
Right.
important, clearly. But at the beginning, you're not going to start with 5,000 failures. Resilience is something that just comes out of necessity, to be honest. It's not necessarily a skill set that you have to build willingly. It's a skill set that is being built because you're forced to build it. And why are you forced to build it? Because you got to come up with a lot of fucking discipline to plow through. So I actually think discipline is the most important. Focus is
All
the
right.
second most important. Um, resilience is the least important, and then we have two more left. What was that?
It was
Delayed
mindset and delayed gratification.
mindset and delayed gratification. I would put mindset as the second least important, and delayed
Mm-hmm.
gratification in the middle. Why is mindset the second least important? Because you can outsource your mindset, especially in the beginning. Like, I didn't know much about my own mindset at first because I just got a mentor and did what that mentor told me. I didn't know why, and I didn't have the underlying mindset. I replaced a good mindset with just blind naivety, which is kind of good. Of like, well, here's this guy that is exactly where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
My very first mentors were all dating coaches they were running a successful dating coaching company. They were traveling the world as dating coaches, and they had great social skills. So they would always have an attractive girlfriend or attractive partners. So I'm like, well, they clearly figured that out. I don't need to have any mindset whatsoever. I'm just going to ask them what I need to do. And I fucking did it. Funny enough,
Right.
a good story I think that emphasized that really well is one of the factors that contributed to me becoming an unpaid assistant for the back then biggest dating company in the world with Owen Cook and Real Social Dynamics was I was at a life event from Julian. Julian was one of the instructors for RSD, and he was in Munich.
Yeah.
And I took all my money and I took a train from Vienna to Munich to be at this life event. At the end of this life event, they said, hey guys, we have a special opportunity with you. We need testimonials for this program that you've just visited. So if you would be willing to speak into the camera for 10 minutes to talk about what you've learned and how much you learned from Julian, then you're going to get to have dinner with him and a couple other people tonight. But
Okay.
my train back was tonight and I didn't have a hotel. So I was like, fuck it. I'll do it no matter what. I'll sleep somewhere outside like a homeless 20-something-year-old. I'll do it because I knew that was a chance. Even if it's just a 10-minute dinner, 20-minute dinner, it would help me be put on that radar because my biggest dream was to become a dating coach just like Julian.
Of course, yeah.
So I actually, my friend didn't want to have a late checkout, so he just booked another night. So he gave me his room key card while he went home to Vienna, and I could stay in his room. Super lucky. And I just had to reschedule my train. Anyways, I'm there that night. I leave a testimonial and I'm at dinner. And of course, I'm asking Julian, I want to be like you. I want to travel the world. I want to be a dating coach. What can I do to get started? And he told me, be there, like give value, take a lot of free jobs at RSD, and then maybe if you're lucky, you get to travel with one day. And maybe if you're even more lucky, you can become a coach one day. And I did that. I was like, I don't need to know the mindset. He told me what the answer is. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I took like 3 to 4 internships all at the same time over the next 6 to 12 months for RSD and I was on their radar. And then when I was on their radar, they said, hey, we want you to be the assistant of Owen, and you got to fly to Miami and you got to pay for yourself and you got to crash on the floor they said on the couch. It ended up being the floor, and it will be unpaid, but I fucking did it. And then halfway through my internship with Owen, they said, well, listen, Julian, he's going to travel through Canada. We want you to fly out there. This time we'll pay a flight, but nothing else. And we want you to assist him. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I was on that flight to Canada, and I had an address of the Airbnb where Julian was staying, and I knocked on the door. It was fall, and it was spring, and it was rainy outside. And he opened the door, and he's like, you? What the fuck are you doing here? You're the guy, where do I know you from? I think I talked to you. And I'm like, well, remember like a year ago, I was at your event and you told me what to do, so I did it. And he said, man, come in. And he said, man, you were probably the 2000th guy who asked me that same fucking question, and I gave everyone the same answer. And you're like the first guy who did it. It was such a mind fuck. So I didn't need a mindset. I was just doing what I was being told.
First of all, I like your story, but the way I viewed it as you were talking is what you did was actually mindset. You thinking what literally you saying to yourself, I don't need to worry about the mindset, him telling me what to do and me executing. That is the mindset. People don't have that. Actually, in a way, it's like low-key fourth wall thing. That this is the mindset.
Yeah, you're right.
Because most people, because people don't have that. People are like, oh no, I need to be ready until I need to reach his level to do what he is doing and what he's saying. But you were like, dude, he's giving me the thing. This is the mindset.
It's a good point, actually. You're very right.
All right, since we are in this mood, can we do one more quick game like this?
Sure, dude, all day. I got time.
All right. Can we play one overrated, underrated game? You know, right? When
sure.
I say like a term and you say overrated, underrated, or properly rated.
I like it.
All right. I want to stick to the same topic like success. So let's go. We have discipline. Well, obviously you said before.
Underrated. Massively
Underrated.
underrated. Super duper important.
Networking.
Also underrated. One of my biggest mistakes, I believe, I didn't network as much. Now I do it more, and every single time I meet someone, I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is a part of networking. You reached out to me, and many times I'm like, whatever, I don't got time, whatever, I'm not gonna. But I'm like, no, talk to people, meet more people. He looks interesting. So I hopped on, and obviously it is a cool conversation. So massively underrated.
Reading books.
Underrated. Well, to be honest, it doesn't need to be reading. I haven't read a book since middle school, I think, or high school. I just audiobook everything. So reading is overrated. Consuming books is underrated.
Because the knowledge is still there, and if you can consume it more effectively.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who say, oh, I can't read books. I read the same page 3,000 times and I fall asleep. I'm like, yeah, that's me. I can't read books either, but audiobook all day long. I'm super, especially because I actually think, here's the key. If you cannot read a lot of books because they're too boring, the reason why that is because you're understimulated. Your brain is trying to work faster, is trying to get shit done, and you read a boring book in silence sitting somewhere, you're understimulated. The way I made it work is I made a book in a more high stimulus environment. The way I do it is I put it in headphones and I put it on 1.5, 1.7, 2x the speed. So now it goes faster and I have to pay attention. So the stimulus is there and it forces me to focus. I actually can't listen to audiobooks on 1x speed. I lose focus because my mind...
your mind drifts. Yeah.
But on 2x the speed, I got to be on point. And all of a sudden I'm focusing for an hour and I'm blasting through an audiobook per week nowadays.
Cool. Right. Productivity hacks.
Overrated.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm tracking my many of my teams. We track their times. And guess what? Every morning I see how many hours they work collectively the next day. And that's just one of my 3 teams. We got a coaching team, social media team, sales team. And you know what it says? 96 hours per day that is collectively being worked over my team. And I'm like, I can productivity hack my ass as much as I want. I can take, whatever supplements and ice baths. Like maybe I'll add 20% productivity to my 9-hour workday or 10-hour or 12-hour workday. But 20% of 12 hours is still not a lot. You cannot beat 96 hours collectively worked by my team.
True. All right. No. Let's go. Social media presence / personal brand.
Everybody talks about it. It's super hyped. It's still underrated, in my opinion. I don't think
it's gonna get much bigger.
Yeah, it's gonna get even bigger. It's not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, AI can create fucking content. Who cares? Most AI content, it's already less exciting. There was this like side dip where everybody's like, "Wow, look what AI could do." I think people just don't know yet what to do with AI content. And I think the people who are going to crush it with AI content are personal brands that are just going to use it as amplification. I have a lot of videos of myself all over my social media that is AI. We've just done it right. It sounds like me. It looks like me. We don't do these weird, eerie, like, hello. Like some of my videos in the beginning were like super obvious AI and they look like shit because also we didn't know how to use them yet. But nowadays we know how to use them better and better and people don't even notice. So either way, personal brand is still underrated.
I've heard I have this subscription on an email for podcasts, and I got this news that one AI podcast company just released 300,000 episodes in 1 month. The AI. I was like, what's the point? Who's gonna listen to those? It's already just the sheer volume of it makes it so not worth listening to. It's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
It's so you're gonna need that brand. You're gonna need that identity.
Yeah.
All right. Communication skills.
Underrated more than ever. Most generation can't do it. The newer generation cannot do it, especially through COVID. Everybody who grew up with staring at people behind a mask, they're having trouble reading facial expressions. There's all these joke Instagram reels and TikToks about Generation Alpha. Have you seen it? Or was it Gen So Gen Alpha, like the people that are now like 18, 19, 20.
I'm not sure.
There's so many funny videos of like you're trying to like order at a coffee shop and it's like like a 20-year-old working there, and they all have this like resting bitch face by default, and you're like, hey, what's up? Like, what coffee do you have? And they're like, it's on the list over here. And you're like, okay, can I have mine with whipped cream? Yeah. Like they're all these like weird, arrogant because they don't know how to socially interact anymore.
Yeah,
So more important than ever.
beautiful. What about masterminds?
Still underrated actually. Like still underrated. Funny
Mm.
thing is, even if it's a shitty mastermind with shit content, you still get a lot of value from the connections there. Like how many masterminds
Yes.
I go to, they're like 5K, 10K, 20K for like a weekend. I fucking go there. I always make way more money after that, just like multiplied. Even if I don't even go to a single lecture, just from the connections alone.
No, that's big, yeah. How about financial literacy?
Underrated. I mean, you're giving me all these easy ones. They're all underrated. It's super
Shoot, shoot.
underrated. Like I see, like how many? If you're listening to this or watching this podcast, do you track your expenses? And I mean, like actually, not like, well, no, I have rent and I pay this much for my phone bill. I'm saying every single expense that you're making. I used to never track that. I used to consider myself super frugal. I'm like, yeah, what am I going to spend? Like 5K a month? Yeah, I'd save a lot of money. And then I just out of curiosity, I tracked every single expense, like chewing gum at the gas station, shit like this, And you know how much I spent the first month? $35,000. I'm like, what? I thought I spent five. What the
Wow.
fuck did I? What? And
That's
dinner.
a lot of gum from gas stations, from gas stations, man.
Yeah, man. It was like business class flights, shoes, dinners, going go-karting, like it stacks up, man. So
yeah,
nobody does this. I still track it to this day. I know exactly how much money I
it's a
spent
good
this
habit.
month. Even when I go to the barber, like everything, it's crazy.
Interesting. How about upfront capital?
Depends on what you want to do. I'm gonna say overrated just so I balance it out. You
You
don't
didn't
even.
really need it. Like most people who became successful became without it. They found the capital later. They raised it. They did, but you don't really need to have the money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like what do you want to do with upfront capital? Like, I guess unless you want to invest. But the thing is, like, not many people get rich from investing per se. Investing is a
No.
great vehicle to park excess cash. If you want to get rich, build something that gives you active cash flow, like a business, for example, like any source of income, and just stack money and then live below your means. So then you have excess cash. I always recommend everybody to have at least 100 to 200K just cash on your bank account. Anything above that, now you can invest it. Just have 100 to 200K. So if shit hits the fan, if you become sick, if you're in a car accident, you can live comfortably and support your family for 2-3 years. If you live below your means, depending on where you live. If you live in New York, probably rather just 1 year with 200K. But and then anything above that, now you should start investing it. Put it in gold, real estate, and so on and so forth. But even there, I'd rather learn about my business and make more money than learning about investing. Because, yeah, what a great investment is like 10-15% yield per year. And they're like, oh, wow, I made so much fucking money. Well, fuck off. Like I got my return of ad spend is like 6x or XX. That means 600 to 800 per month. You can't out invest that unless you gamble on a shit coin.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I so totally agree with you. We don't have an investing problem. We have an earning problem. Our earnings are just so low. Okay, so for example, my whole generation circle, I just put £3,000 on Bitcoin. What the fuck do you think Bitcoin is gonna go to 5 billion for you to make 100K at least?
Yeah.
This 3K, buy a mastermind, buy a course, learn some skills, learn editing, and then start charging people more, become competent. When you have money, then you're gonna invest them. What do you think is gonna give you S&P 500? I got 8% on my 1,000 quid. That's 80 quid, whatever it is.
Yeah, true. Exactly. Like even if Bitcoin doubled, meaning it would go from whatever 100K to 200K, like you still only have 6,000. The fuck you gonna do with that? It's nothing.
It's nothing. That's nothing. All right. I want to talk a little bit about men. So I remember on your video why I left RSD, you mentioned how you miss the brotherhood aspect of it. which in and of itself is something incredible to be able to experience.
Mm,
And I worry that as we become more isolated and glued to our screens, less and less young people are going to experience such brotherhoods.
mhm.
And yeah, they're just not never going to have the chance to experience it. To anyone who can relate to this, can you talk as to why is a brotherhood important to a man?
I think it's probably somehow in our genetics or epigenetics that we are used to living in tribes, especially in,
Mm,
hunter gatherer tribes. So you're used to literally risk your life with your brothers in arms, so to speak. And the generations before that, like our fathers, they still experienced the tail end of that. Like my dad never had to go to war, but he would probably do things like sports in school, sports teams and stuff like that. Our grandfathers experienced that because most of them went to war, so they experienced their camaraderie. I'm not saying war is great. War is obviously horrible, but at the very
yeah.
least, it built that character in terms of camaraderie, and you really take care of the other person next to you. I had a glimpse of that when I was 18 in the Austrian army. You have to go to the army for 6 months in Austria, and I was never this like, oh, brother and tribe. No fucking way. I was relatively unpopular in school. I had a small group of friends, and then I was in the army, and Austria is a neutral country, so there's no looming threat of a war whatsoever. But
Yeah.
even there, I was like, yeah, I would die for these guys. Like after 3 weeks being in basic training and suffering together with them, crawling through mud, running up hills, going on
Mm,
marches all day, sleeping in a tent. You're like, yeah, I barely know this guy's fucking first name because you only have the last name on it. I would die for this guy. I would
yeah.
die for like that. And you're like, this is more than just psychology. It's something deeper. It's in your genetics that you want to have a tribe. And I honestly think real tribal connection comes through hardship. So I
Yes.
strongly recommend any guy to become part of a team. This can be a team at work. It could be a team with whom you're building a business together, like I'm experiencing right now. It could be a fucking esports team where you're losing
Mm,
because you're like the shittiest team on the roster and you have to climb up. Could be a sports team. Could be a band. I was in a metal band as well, and we suffered through shitty gigs where nobody
mm,
showed up, through like stupid travels in we had like a smart 4 car from my mom. We had to travel to like 5 hours driving to a shitty gig where nobody cared about us. Like these things really bring you together. And now when I think like I have two business partners, like the shit we've been through over the last 4 years, these are the first guys that I told that I was getting married. These are the first guys that I invited
mm.
to my wedding. The wedding isn't happening in next year. It's happening 2027. But like I'm gonna die for these guys just as much. And I remember distinctly one of my diary entries from like 2021. I started doing diary. Not regularly, but I write in it like every couple days. And I wrote into this back in 2021. I no longer feel alone, because I had grown so close to my two business partners through all the hardship that I'm like, for the first time in my life as an entrepreneur, I don't feel alone. I feel like these guys got my back and vice versa. And I realized then later on as well that the true definition of leadership is you serve. You serve the people around you with all your love, with all your wisdom, with all your energy, with everything you got. So and when the day comes where you can't, where you're weak, where you have a bad week, a bad month, God beware, a bad year, they can carry you. And I think when you try to serve people like that, whether you're a leader or number two or number three in your group, doesn't matter. I think then you have that tribe. And when you have that tribe, you're way, way, way stronger than you think you are. And you have a shit day and you have a bad month, you keep going. Even if you can't do it for yourself anymore, you'll do
Mm.
it for those
Yeah.
people around you.
That's beautiful, Max Tornow.
Thanks, man.
um, the moment you said that you admitted for the first time to yourself that you're no longer alone, or what? Sorry, you said that, yeah, you're no longer alone, right?
Yeah.
it just reminded me how this is what men mostly suffer from. They feel alone. This is the number one cause of suicide, is they have no one to talk to, no one to lead. So it just helped, this point of yours help cement even more the idea that brotherhood is needed. People that you would die for and that they would die for you is just so utterly important, because that's the man's biggest threat, is being by himself. Although we do love it a lot, that's the biggest threat, our own hands, because we have no one to be with. So that's crazy, man.
Very true. Very, very, very true. And it's hard to get out of your shell. I'm an introvert. I'm a natural introvert. It's really hard for me to get out of the house. I like being at home. But when you do get out of the house,
nice.
Yeah, and you go to
Solitude
that,
is nice sometimes.
yeah, it is. But when you do go to that steak meeting and you hang out with the other guys, you're like, it's just kind of, I needed this. It's important. So yeah.
All right. Okay, let's lighten the mood a bit. Just a couple. Okay, I have a couple of personal branding, because I think you're very good at this, and this is also what I'm trying to build right now. So, I have my mentor right in front of me. Let me ask him the good stuff.
Do it.
Okay, so personal branding is gonna be everything beyond 2025. We know that, as someone who not only successfully you created a personal brand, but also managed to reinvent yourself from an old brand, and you managed to change the identity and let go of the perks of the older personal brand.
Yeah.
Can you talk of how can one go about finding the personal brand, and what are some rookie mistakes to avoid to help them find it quicker?
I think rookie mistake number one is thinking that you have to find the perfect niche right away. I certainly didn't. In fact, my my first attempt at a personal brand was my band. It was a heavy metal band, and I was posting. I was in the name of the band, and I was expressing myself with our music, and I was trying to get assigned to a label. And I thought that's what I wanted. And maybe it was what I wanted. Maybe it still is somewhere. But I couldn't do it. I got an injury. I got tendonitis on both arms, so I couldn't play guitar anymore. So that dream kind of died. And then my second brand was the dating thing, and that obviously worked extremely well. And I kind of reached all the goals that I had as a musician. Travel the world, inspire people, express myself, make money doing what I love. I kind of happened to then reach all that with the dating coaching. And it was very much so as well. It was like be fully yourself, be your dorky self, make stupid jokes. I'm like, this very much feels like kind of being a low-key rock star. You don't have to behave. You could swear in your videos. You don't have to dress nicely. If you want to dress like a bum, you dress like a bum. And evidently I did many years. For anybody who knows my old brand with the man bun and the Jurassic Park tank top, like, yeah, that's what I would wear. So and then I did this until 2019, until I was sick and tired of it. And there were many factors that contributed to that. You referenced the why I left RSD video from them back then as well. But one of the reasons was also I was just tired of it. It was just the same questions that I answered, the same problems I fixed, and I didn't feel like there was much progress in that. And then I built this business consulting brand, and the business consulting brand even now has gone through multiple iterations because I changed as a person. The business consulting brand started in late 2018. Me being 28 years old, now I'm 35. I'm a completely different person. I went through the rock star stage of the business consulting brand, of like the traveling and meeting many different girls, and it was freaking cool too. And rented cars. Like every city I would go to, I would rent a Lambo for like $5,000-$6,000 a day, because I'm like, if I'm gonna be in the city, I'll rent a freaking nice car. And half the time I didn't even drive it because I was in like European cities. You don't need a car there.
You don't need a car.
And then nowadays I'm like, why would I sit in a fucking Lambo? It's super tight in that car. You're stuck in traffic. It's a nice car, no doubt about that. But like, I'd rather just whatever. I'd rather walk, get 10,000 steps. I'd rather invest the money into a chef, or just put it on the side, or not, or whatever. Just buy my girlfriend something nice, or my fiance. So things really iterate. So I don't think you need to be so focused on like, this is what I want to be. I'd rather have you focus on something that is fun, that feels good, that feels like you don't have to act being someone that you're not. Because I think that's the biggest mistake. Everybody tries to fake being someone that they're not. And the problem with that is not, I mean, it is that you're lying, that you're faking being someone. But the
Right.
main problem is that it's costing you a ton of energy to
Yeah.
uphold that fake mask. And when it costs you a ton of energy, you're not going to do it consistently enough for it to
Yeah.
grow. Right? It's kind of like, what's the best diet? Well, it's the one that you can do for a fucking year without any worries, right? So what's
Hmm.
the best brand? It's the one that you can uphold forever. The one where you're excited about posting and not like, oh,
Yeah.
I have to act now. I have to blah blah blah. No, fuck.
And that could be the that could be the number one reason why people feel imposter syndrome, because
Mm,
literally they're pretending to be someone they're not, a persona, because it gets views. Of course, you have imposter syndrome. You're not being yourself.
amen to
Lean,
that.
you need to lean into your quirkiness, like Julian, who Arsden Julian. Like, look how he dresses. It's like you look at the street. It's like, is this guy homeless?
No, that
And
was
yet
good choice.
people go to him for, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you want to attract people who
Yeah.
they're gonna like you for who you are.
Mm,
Otherwise, what's the point? Is a couple of yes men telling you, "Oh, good job on you. You're amazing, Max. You're amazing, Fran. Good job." And you're like, it's all fake. It's
very,
all bullshit.
very true. Very, very, very true.
Well, the way I've been thinking about personal brand is, if you wouldn't want this brand to be your legacy long after you're gone, you shouldn't make it your personal brand. But I'm just wondering if this is a perfectionist view that is keeping me back from
Mm.
finding my brand. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this whole legacy thing, it pops up a lot. You referenced Hormozio earlier, and there's this one thing he said. He's like, the Queen of England. How many times have you thought about her since she died? She died, what, last year?
Yeah.
Not many times, you know? She's the motherfucking Queen of England, okay? More people know the Queen of England than will probably ever know you. Yet, here you are, still not thinking about her since she died. So, legacy, does it really matter that much?
Mm.
I think, and this is highly philosophical, and by all means, people can challenge me on that. Please do so. But like, I think in the moment of your death, you're not going to think about legacy. I think you're going to think about your life, how many times you did what you wanted to do, how many things you're proud of, how honest you could be about the things that you're not proud of. And you're going to think about your immediate circle, not your extended legacy circle, not how many, the 20,000 million followers that I have. Fuck them. You're not going to fucking think about them.
Yeah.
You're going to think about your wife or your husband, your children, your grandchildren, and you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, I'm happy. I did right. And look how beautiful they all are. Look how many beautiful moments I have with them. I think that's the legacy you really want to think about. And sure, your social media legacy or your brand legacy or your extended legacy will have an effect on it, right? If you have an empire and you're making a ton of money, inadvertently, your kids are probably going to have more chances in life, better education, access to better things in life for sure. But it's not the primary thing that you're going to think about. So I actually think there's a dance between outside legacy and inner most tight circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the relationship between them can flip. So if you focus only on family, that's great and all, but you should also focus on outside legacy because it will have an effect on your family. So if you work hard and you build a lot of, knowledge and you make money, you can positively influence your family with that.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point it flips. When you focus too much on this outside, you start being
Yeah.
a shit father. You start neglecting your family. You start missing the karate tournament and the ballet tournament. And all of a sudden you become an absent father because you found you flip the priorities. They're too much in favor
Yeah.
of outside legacy. And I think then you might lie in bed and you say, well, I made 5 million more or 50 million more than I hoped
Who
for,
cares?
but my fucking kids are not here or they don't
Yeah.
care, or maybe they are here, but they're not sad, right? So, not that I want my kids to be sad, but you get what I'm saying. So I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think, I think the legacy that I would like to leave behind now at the age of 35. Ask me again when I'm older, but right now my thought is I want to leave a legacy behind where I have a family, I have kids, and hopefully grandkids, and maybe great grandkids that all love me, who I could help become better people, who I could help grow into beautiful adults. I hope I look back to many many beautiful experiences with my wife. I hope I leave this world with having given all the love that I have and having fulfilled all my potential while serving the people around me and also serving myself. I think then I'd be happy. And none of that includes the amount of followers I have or how many million I have on the bank account. It helps, but it's not the main thing.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of losing track of why you do things. What's the
Mm.
point of having an extra 5 million if not to spend time with your kid?
Mhm.
What's the point if not to retire your mother? To take all of your friends together and go on a trip when they can afford it? What not to help a family member who is sick, to pay
Mm.
for the medical bills for them to get good?
Mm.
Oh, we lose track of what we want because again we just see what we don't have. We forget all the beautiful things that we have because those are the things that are gonna matter at the end.
Mm.
Those are the regrets. Oh, I didn't see my friends, I was too busy hustling.
Mm.
Well, put that hustle in your ass right now. What the fuck are you gonna do? Your friends don't talk to you anymore. Oh, your wife, she of course she cheated on you, you were absent. So I feel you, man. Yeah, I think you have a good point there.
Mm.
Okay, so someone thinks, oh, I'm the person who is stuck in this identity. Oh, I'm a plumber. It's silly for me to make content. Or oh, I'm a dude from this village that has more cats than people living in it. Why would people ever possibly watch my content? What advice would you give to that person? How can this sort of person overcome this branding and identity challenge?
Well, I got good news for you. There's now enough people on social media, be it YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, that no matter how niche your brand is, you will find your audience. And I know this,
Mm.
I'm not saying this because it's feel good woo woo. I know this because I've worked with thousands of brands over the past couple months and years. And there's a lot of, the classic brands, the personal development, the self help, the fitness, the relationship, sure. But there's brands where I'm like, I didn't even know that fucking existed. I have a client, Megan. Shout out to you, Megan, if you're listening to this. Her niche is she helps young mothers ensure that their newborn babies aren't mouth breathers. So
Super niche.
it can't get any more niche than that. So she's like, okay, here's how to make sure that your baby puts the tongue on the roof of its mouth, so it breathes through the nose. Because if it breathes through the mouth, less oxygen to the brain, and it will be bad for development. I know this actually. I'm a mouth breather myself. I had to learn to breathe through the nose in my 20s, and I'm like, so this is the niche. She's not health. She's not health for kids. She's not health for babies. She's like health for babies, mouth breathing for babies, right?
There's no competition.
Exactly. And she got like 12,000 followers or something. Like she got like she's getting like 20,000, 15,000 views on her videos. And I'm like, this is epic.
Nice.
Like this is a legitimate brand. I got another example. I'm trying to find her now. Let me see if I forgot what her name is on Instagram. I have another example of his name is Oliver. He's a horse photography coach. Shout out to you, Oliver. So he's not a
Nice.
photography coach. He's not a photographer. He's a horse photography coach. He teaches horse photographers how to make better photos for horse photography. Now, this couldn't have been possible 10 years ago. You'd have to be broader because not enough people would be online on these platforms. Nowadays, man, you can fucking make anything. A person that I follow, that I just started following, her specialty is painting books, but not the covers on books, but like the pages. When you hold a book on the side,
Yeah.
the white, she hand paints them. So there's like the Lord of the Rings, and she paints like Gandalf on it, and she sells these books
Nice.
for $800 because they're handmade, and people fucking buy it. And she's like, guys, I'm booked out for this year. Please join the wait list. Right?
Wow.
And it's like, that's the cool thing about social media, man. we've been shit talking social media a little bit before, but I'm like, it's now possible that if you're a fucking plumber in an Italian town, you can go viral. You can have a legitimate brand and you can live off that. There's so many cat accounts that my girlfriend follows. There's this lady, I don't know her Instagram. My girlfriend keeps sending it to me. All she does is every video starts the same. It's her standing next to her cat, and she has one of these like super chill cats that allows you to do anything. And she dresses with the cat, and they have like partner look dresses, right? So she wears
All
like a
right.
red dress with a hat, and she has a little mini red dress for the cat with a little hat. And the whole video is just her putting this on the cat and the cat purring, and that's it. And you could kind of see the before and after. And I'm like, this is so niche. Or do you know the
Yeah.
guy with the cow? Have you seen that guy? It's the guy who cooks and he has a cow in his kitchen.
In this kitchen, yeah.
And the cow keeps ruining the food because he's trying to make
Yes.
pancakes and the cow is like licking all the dough. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? But it's funny, and I follow this guy, and he's got like 1 million followers. It's so fucking cool.
There's this different guy on this farm on Instagram. One of his video, he's sorting the sheep out in his barn or whatever it's called. So it's like, oh, small sheep, big sheep. 208 million views on that video. And like, dude, World Politics don't get 208 million.
I
But
love
there's
it.
this guy that on my way to feed my chicken, 30 million. She's like, dude, you could be in a village of 100 people and just do your thing.
Yeah.
Find a way to storytell it, and then suddenly you make more money that your family saved for the last 3 generations in 1 year. It's insane, man.
Have you seen the guy who has his chicken run his investment accounts?
No way. What is this?
He does like day trading, and his offer is like learn how to day trade, right? How many day traders are out there? Thousands. But he's like, okay, whatever, day 67 of my chicken running my day trading account, we're like $10,000 and plus. So he has a green button and a red button, and he puts the same amount of food on both. And then, and he's like, okay, the green button means we're going to double down on our current position. Red button means we're going to sell. And then he has the chicken come in, and whatever button the chicken picks, he's like, okay, the chicken said we're going to sell, so we're going to sell. And they're like up $10,000 or something like that. It's so
man, I can't believe a chicken makes more money than me on the fucking stock market. This is a new law, man. This is a new law. Fuck this. I hate this chicken, man.
I loved it. Man, I can't remember what this account's called. It's so funny. Chicken day trading. Let me see if I can find it.
A chicken made 10,000 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is.
Long.
4.5 million views. Day 8 of chicken trading $100,000 funded account. After quick chart analysis, she will be choosing. Look at it. What?
It's such a silly idea, but imagine how much money this made him.
Yeah. It might not even be the same chicken anymore, Maybe the old chicken already died.
So maybe he ate it.
Yeah. Good job, man. Look, complete the trade.
I would start a betting site, so people would bet on the chicken which one he would choose, and all of the money is profit. It's in my pocket, and then I would, if someone wins, I would pay them back from the pool. Fucking.
That's actually a sick idea. Like, what is the chicken gonna do? Yeah. I should get a chicken. I want to get chickens.
Should get a chicken.
Yeah, once I have chickens, I'll make a chicken account. Sick idea.
Chicken.
Good brainstorming here,
Take
man.
a chicken and name him George.
Yeah, some super fancy name. Yeah. I like that.
All right. Okay, so I want to know something. As a business coach, who with your brand now, with your latest business, you told me you reached $1 million a month, right? Does that still feel unreal? Or has money lost its meaning once you started making more that you could spend at some point?
I wouldn't say it lost its meaning, because the goals also do become bigger, right? Like when I was making 10K a month, that felt just as unreal as, and we're not at $1 million a month yet, we're close. I think last month was 800K. And I'm like, so for me, like 10K felt as unreal as 800K feels now. I was like, $10,000, like in Austria, doctors don't make 10,000.
No, absolutely not.
So I'm like, I make more than a doctor, but I didn't have to go to school, and I'm traveling the world, and I'm being a dork, and I look like a bum. Like, wow, like that's what winning in life looks like. Like for me, there was no conceivable difference between 10K a month and 20K a month, because everything I bought, it wouldn't make a difference. I would buy a PlayStation 4 back then for a couple $100, and I would go to McDonald's, and I would fly to a different city, and I would still have enough money. So I'm like, what else can I do? But then you upgrade your lifestyle, right? And you hear someone talk about like, oh, a Black American Express card. I'm like, what's that? I have one now, and it's like just having the card costs like 10,000 a year just to have the card. That's just the card fees, I guess. And I'm like, I don't even know why I have it. I have it, and I got an invitation, and I accepted it because it looked cool. And then you're like, okay, well, traveling itself is cool at first, but then it starts sucking because you're like on an 8-hour flight transatlantic, and you're like, oh, your back hurts, you can't sleep, and then you're like, oh, what is this first class? What's in there? And then you fly first class once. It doesn't cost $600, but 6,000, and you're like, oh, well, I like the food, and I like that I can put the chair into a bed, and I can eat unlimited food, and it's like way cooler. And now you're like, your standards also grow, and you're like, well, the worst thing in the world now is to fly economy somewhere because it sucks. So naturally your standards also rise, and then when you have a partner, your standards for them rise. Like I'm like I don't want to bestow upon my fiance to sit in a shitty flight where the person next to her is sweating and she's uncomfortable, and then she's going to be tired, maybe get sick. I'm like, no, if I'm going to fly somewhere with her, I want to fly, at least on the longer haul flights, I want to fly business or first class with her. So now all of a sudden it's not just 6,000 for you, it's 12,000. So you're going to make more money. And so that being said, it still does. I don't think the money loses its value because your standards grow with it. And then also in terms of investment, you're like, I no longer feel comfortable with only having 100,000 on the bank account. Like I want 500,000 or 600,000. Your standards for safety, your standards for return of investment grow bigger. Like my goal for the next year is to buy as much real estate as I can and just make like $1,000 a day just from real estate. Like I already make way more than $1,000 a day from my active income, but I want to do that and then make $1,000 a day just from my real estate investment. So again, you start fucking around with goals like this, and then naturally the money becomes more of a natural thing for you to just spend. Instead of spending $100 on groceries, you spend $1,000 because you get the higher quality steaks. So, but at the same time, I try to not lose my mind about it and still stay frugal whenever I can, because it's like you want to be able to buy the nice flights and the nice steaks, but you don't want to be reliant on it. So every now and then I fly fucking economy, and I'm like, this is what it feels, motherfucker.
Keeps you humble.
Exactly, it keeps you humble. Every now and then, I don't buy the best steak. I'm like, this is what it feels like, motherfucker. I think that's important. But other than that, to answer the other question, does it feel unreal? It does feel weird to make way more. Like, I talked to a friend of mine. He's a teacher in my hometown, and he's like, how's it been going? And I'm like, oh yeah, record month. And he's like, okay, cool, record month. What does that mean? And I'm like, yeah, 800,000. And he's like, you're making 800,000 in a month, bro? I'm a teacher. I make 50K a year if I'm lucky after 20 years.
Before taxes.
Before tax, yeah. And I'm and I'm like, it's the whole different relationship to it. So it's not even a real fucking number. Also because, and I'll say this last, if you do things just for the money, you're gonna have a very, very, very hard time. Because if you start a larger company, or actually any company, you're not gonna make money at first. You're gonna put a lot of work in. You're gonna get your ego bruised. You're gonna fail, and then the money comes. So, but if you constantly just focus on the money, on the money, on the money, it's like the guy who only goes out because he wants to get phone numbers from a pretty girl, or he wants to get validated, have as many good reactions from girls as possible. It's not gonna fucking work. But if you focus on the
Mm.
process and you say, I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun and I'm going to try to get better and I'm going to try to
Yes.
spread fun, now all of a sudden the nice reactions are a side effect. And I think so is money. Every time I focus on delivering a better fucking product, every time I focus on spending my own money on better employees, better systems, we're building a ton of AI stuff for our clients. We're continuously making it better. I don't have to fucking do that. Nobody asks me to do that, but I fucking want to. Like,
Mm.
I just spent this entire day today and the entire week up until now to just make another mini program that I give for free to all of our existing high ticket clients. They didn't fucking ask for it, but I'm like, I have this idea. I think it will be sick. So I made a whole like passive income, low ticket product course on how to make that. And I gave to my clients. And they're like, cool, this is like all this free shit. Like we keep getting upgrades and updates and we don't need that, but it's cool to have it. And I'm like, every time I do that, we end up making more money because my focus is not how can I make as much money as possible. My focus is how
Yeah.
can we build something really fucking cool that helps a lot of people, and that's a lot of fucking fun, and then the money follows.
Money is attracted to competence and value.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it was the same feeling when I made my first million. I've talked about this on videos before. I didn't even register it. I was so in the process. I was like,
Mhm.
I looked at the monthly thing, and it was like, oh, like you made $1 million, and I'm like, oh, cool. Anyways, back to work. It was just this like, what? Yeah, whatever. Like, oh, that's also there. Yeah, put it over there. You know, it's like when you order something really cool on Amazon, but you're working, and you're like, oh, it's here. Yeah,
Mhm.
put it in the corner. I deal with it later. I was so into work. I loved it so much that like the work has become the reward, not the reward itself.
And that's how it should be, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be, because then I had this conversation with a friend of mine who, luckily, he had a change of mind on this. I asked him. He always used to talk about money, money, money. I'm like, let me ask you something. Can money buy happiness? And he said, that's the only thing that can buy happiness. Well, then you're setting up yourself for failure. Or as you said, to add basically to what you said, when you do it for the money, statistically speaking, you're not gonna make it. You were lucky, Max. You were one of the million that made it. But statistically, you're gonna fail. Which means, if you think money is gonna buy you happiness, and you're gonna fail, quite likely, you're setting yourself up for misery, for
Mm.
disappointment, because quite likely you're gonna be average. Best case scenario, you become an area manager in your restaurant chain or whatever. But if you do it for the money, the moment you're not gonna get it, it's gonna feel like shit. It's gonna feel like shit because most of us are determined to be average, and you need to make peace with that. Whereas if you work on the thing as you did, you might just attract it. But there's this thing that a lot of people think money will get them happiness. The items will get you happiness. But just think the disappointment you're gonna feel when you're 55 and you're like, what the fuck? So yeah. Yeah, man. Money is a big thing. Money is a
Yeah.
big thing. And unfortunately, when you don't have it, that's all you think about. And
Yeah.
then, yeah.
It's so well said from you, man. It's when you don't have it, that's all you think about. So I want everybody to make enough so they don't have to think about it, so they can then operate on that other level and can focus on the things that actually matter. I think that's the important thing, because a lot of people say money doesn't matter, and then people interpret that as like a license to be poor and be okay with it and almost see it as like a badge of honor. Oh, I'm poor, right? I'm not rich like the others because I'm honest. No, motherfucker, you're not rich because you couldn't figure it out, or because
Exactly.
you didn't want to work hard, or you didn't want to fail, or you failed too much and you gave up. That's why you're not fucking rich. Not because you don't want to, or because you're a good person. So I want everybody, and then again, like money doesn't buy happiness. It doesn't. It buys you a lot of nice things. But the most important thing I think money does is it brings you to a point where you can actually fully appreciate the things that money doesn't buy. Because like you said, when you don't have the money, all you think,
That's
you
big.
got a loving wife that you wake up to next to in the morning. You got loving, healthy kids, but you're in financial dire. You're like, love my wife, but I gotta make money. Like, fuck, I don't know how to pay the fucking bill. Oh, my kids are getting on my nerves. Gotta pay the fucking bill. Gotta pay the fucking bill. But when you wake up and you're like, I don't have to worry about the money. I got money enough to live with for me and my family for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and I'm making more money every month. Now you're waking up next to your wife and you're really appreciating the energy. Now you have the time and the energy and the bandwidth mentally for your kids. Because, like you said, all you think about when you don't have money is how to make money. So I want everybody to make enough to not have to worry about it so they can appreciate the things that money doesn't buy.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like that. But for me, I get more of a philosophical approach to it, because I think when you're poor, all you have is faith. And if you don't have faith, maybe you don't believe in God or whatever, you're in the universe, all you can do is philosophize life and pat yourself in the back. It's like, it's going to be okay that I'm poor. But for me, it's just all about managing the expectations. For me, it's making peace with the fact that quite likely you're going to be poor your whole life, and that's okay. Because you have everything that the rich people want anyway. You have a loving family, because all of these successful people like the Hormozes or the Jeff Bezos, most of them are traumatized. They come from broken families. Most of them, they made all that money to get the things that you have, the best friends, not yes men, to get the wife, to get to get a brother. Like the Tate brothers, hate them all you want. What they have between them, man, that's insane. The dynamic, I see sometimes the dynamic between them. I'm like, this man will never be lonely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So yeah, man. Okay, a couple more questions and then I'll let you go.
Sure, anytime.
All right. So I wonder, out of okay, so you taught so many courses, right? Is there something that you regret teaching, or that you think you should have done better or not do it because maybe it had a negative impact? Looking back now, being like, man, I tried making so much money out of that course. I don't think it really added any value, maybe even hurted people. Do you think maybe
No,
this happened?
not at all. I always, if anything, I'm like, I could have probably not worked as hard for certain courses and it would have still sold super well. I've always tried to put as much effort into it as possible. I always try to make every single course a masterpiece, at least in my opinion. I always felt like there's a side of me that always feels like an imposter. So I'm like, people literally pay money for me. You better fucking deliver above and beyond for these folks. So my very first digital product ended up being over 40 hours long. In the longest version of it, there was 3 tiers. That's 40 fucking hours. I could have probably made it 20 hours and people would have liked it just as much. But I'm like, no, more. Add more stuff. Give them more. And even now, I'm like, what other things can we give them? And even when people have already fucking bought it, they already paid me. What else can I add? Like how cool is it if you buy something, right? And then a month later, they're like, oh, by the way, here's your update. And you're like, what update? And you're like, oh, yeah, well, we added all this other shit. And they're like, I already paid. Yeah, but here is more. And you're like, cool. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I want that. I want everybody to have a wow experience. And I'm not saying this for marketing. Again, like, oh, he's just saying this so people buy his shit. Fuck you. Don't buy my shit if you don't want to. I don't care.
Exactly.
It's just like I always liked that. I've been a perfectionist. I try to do things really well, and I want to look at it at the end of the day, and I'm like, this is fucking cool. And you know how many times I still look at my products, like old products, even from the dating time. I still click on them, and I'm like, yeah, that video was the shit. Like sometimes I just look at what I created, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Could I do things better? Because you mentioned that as well. Absolutely. Like sometimes I have way better knowledge now on something. And then I even updated. If I can, I replace older videos, not with the dating stuff anymore because I gave the rights to that to RSD. So I'm officially not allowed to make changes.
Right.
But to all my business consulting stuff, like there's still parts of some courses or entire courses that I just completely refresh. Because I'm like, here's the new shit and this is fucking better. As long as I can, I'll be super happy to do that.
Yeah. Something you spoke there is how you look at your videos and you're like, fuck yeah. And that's the feeling of being proud. And I think most of us, this is what we lack, man. We lack something to be proud of. And maybe it can be a side project. Maybe it can be just, bro, you're a waiter in a restaurant. Just do some fucking good work so that at the end of the night, you're proud of yourself. Because no one is going to clap for you. Not until you make it.
Yeah.
So if you're not proud of yourself, which means you believe in yourself, You respect it, being proud of yourself, and I don't mean it in like the douche. Oh, I'm the best. Like no, like I did good work. I'm a good guy.
Mm,
I opened the door for this old lady. She
yeah.
didn't say thank you, but but I don't care
Mm.
because you didn't do. I was thinking about this today actually. It was like a grand insight. So when you open the door for a lady that is holding groceries, Max, what do you do it for? Do you do it for the thank you?
Mm.
What do you do it for personally?
I honestly do it because my ego makes me think I'm a good person. I'm like, look at you,
Right.
Max. You helped that old lady.
Would it bother you if she didn't say thank you and she just barged through the door?
No, to be honest, I would give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, she probably didn't register it because she's too old. That's
Right.
how my brain would come up with the excuse. Oh, she did not say thank you because you're stupid. She said she didn't see you. That's how I would reframe it.
Right, but you didn't do it for the thank you. You did it because you feel you morally right. You're like I'm a good person,
Yeah.
right? So you don't do it. Actually, wait, because I think I've written it down.
While you look for that, it reminded me
Yeah.
of a great lesson from one of my first mentors, Owen Cook, and
Yeah.
he said, "Man, like if you work at Burger King, be the best fucking burger flipper that this whole fucking chain has ever seen."
Yeah.
And that resonated with me. And I remember when I started as an assistant for Owen, it was like the third or second week I was in. He actually semi low key fired me. Um, and the way he quote unquote fired me was it was after a full night of like me shooting videos and assisting him, and it was like 5 a.m. in the morning, and he called me to his Airbnb, and he's like, Max, look, like I see when I'm out coaching my clients with you, you're all on it. You're helping me coach the clients. You clearly know what you're doing. You clearly like the coaching aspect. But then when it comes to your assistant duties of, ordering the food, taking whatever, setting up the room for me, arranging the chairs, setting up the camera, you made this mistake, this mistake, this mistake. You're just not on point. You're just not even there. So I'm going to tell you something right away here, Max. If you come here as an assistant because you think this is your chance to become a coach, by the way, that was literally what I thought, then you're not going to make it, Max. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to become a coach. The chances of you becoming a coach are probably less than 1%. Every young guy that comes to me wants to become a coach because, you get paid to travel the world. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen. Now, I'm totally fine if you want to quit now and that's it, right? Totally accept that. Totally fine. I'm going to tell you, you cannot even be an assistant anymore unless you step it up. Or you do step it up and you accept that you're an assistant and then you got to get better at it because otherwise you have to go. And that was the hardest way home I've ever had from his Airbnb through the streets of Miami at 5 a.m. in the morning. And as I was going to sleep, I was like almost crying. I'm like, this was my only chance and I fucking blew it and it sucks. And I woke up at some point in the middle of the morning while I slept and I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to become a coach, fuck it. I'm going to be the best damn assistant this company has ever seen. And from then on, I did become the best fucking assistant. I was fucking spot the fuck on. And I think so many, especially young men, they're like, oh, well, nobody's giving me a fucking chance to really prove myself. Like, all the positions in the companies I want to work for, they're all shitty entry positions. They're all fucking unpaid. They're all like, I got to bring coffee. Like, I want them to give me a chance. I want them to pay me more. Fuck off.
You half-assing it. Yeah, you're half-assing it, dude.
Prove your fucking and I've had this so many times, especially with young people that I hired for slower positions. They're like, Max, I want you to give me more opportunities. I want you to give me more responsibility. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm not. Because you can't even do the simple task right. If you can't even film this video and back up the footage and title the fucking folder right, how do I know you're not going to fuck up the bigger tasks that I give you? Show me then the small tasks, because the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. And that's probably what you did with holding up the door for the old lady.
Yeah. There is always room, there is always a position for the right person. There might be 0 vacancies. I'm a manager in restaurants at the moment. This is my full-time job. And there might be no vacancy. But when someone is fucking smashing it, I go there and it's like, I will open a position for you. Be my supervisor. Be my assistant man. Dude, I want you. I want you. If I get fired from here, wherever I go, I'll get you. Give me your number. I'm always going to hire you. So when someone is smashing it, Because anyone of high value, yourself, you want good people. You want the best right-hand side you can have. You want someone who's gonna smash it. You want someone who is gonna you can rely upon, and you're gonna compensate them appropriately, of course. But if they don't give the best, which by the way is the only thing you control, the only thing you control is giving it your fucking best. You don't control the outcome. You control being the best version of yourself. You don't feel like smiling. Well, fucking smile, man. Think how everyone else around you will elevate the room. You will be magnetic. What? Just you can only control being the best version of yourself. Everything else is chance, is timing. So if you are the best version of yourself, and you just happen to be, because the opportunity will not knock your door. Maybe you're in the restaurant. Maybe you're on a phone call with Max. As long as you're the best person of yourself, the opportunity will find you. That's what I think.
Amen to that. 100% agree with you, man. Did you find that?
All right, let me see this in. Yeah. Let me find this insight because I have it actually, but it might be shit. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna cut it.
I want to know it. I'm like super curious.
Okay, so why did you open the door for her? Did you open? This is me speaking to myself. Did you open the door so that you can receive a thank you and make you feel good about yourself? Or you did it because you knew it was the right thing to do? You know that your heart is in your right place. And you know that opening the door for the lady was an act of service. Because you intrinsically understand that being of service is a higher act than looking after your ass. So if you go volunteering just so that you can have others praise you for how good of a person you are and inflate your ego, then you're volunteering for the wrong reason. You're doing it for you. That's not an act of service. That's an act of self-service. Whereas if you go volunteer because you understand that you understand that these people rely on your help is all they have for them to make it, and you know that this is for the betterment of humanity, that's where you know you're doing it for the right reasons, and that's where you know when your values are right. So this is maybe just the point. The message here is, why are you doing it? What for? Maybe you need to give that a think. Give that a good thing, man. Just sit down, put your fucking phone off. Why do you do it? Anything.
Man, that's good. That was a sick insight, man. You should post that, man. You should fucking post that somewhere. LinkedIn, Facebook, make a reel out of it. It's good. It's way better than my answer was. So yeah.
I post this, but anyone who doesn't follow me, and guys, I post every day things that are like this on X, but 200 people followers, no one's gonna see it.
I'll follow you on X. What's your account, man?
Right, Max. Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Fuck, man. I think it's less what you're remembered for. It's more who you're remembered by. Yes. I think if you touch the right people, I don't mind if 10,000 people remember me or 10. If those 10 remember me fondly, if those 10 remember me as a fun guy and a good guy who helped them, who didn't take himself too seriously, all the things I'm not right now, I don't think I'm as fun as I used to be because I'm always working. So I hope I get to be more fun later. I think not taking yourself too seriously, everybody should try to get better at. I think we all take ourselves too seriously. And I'm trying to help people as much as I can. I'm not sure if it's enough, right? I think that's another great thing for you to write about. Like, is it ever enough? How many old ladies do you need to open the door for it to be enough, you know? And how many old ladies have you accidentally overlooked because you were too busy crossing the street fast in your audiobook? How many people did you not help? I think, you know what's weird? It sounds super self-centered, but I think it's also important how do I think about myself when I go in that moment of death. And I hope I have the luxury of being able to dwell and think a little bit. I hope I don't just get out like this, you know, in a car accident or something like that. So I hope I have the time of reflecting deeply. And when I do reflect deeply, I'm not gonna hope that I did everything right, because I know I didn't, and I probably won't. But I hope I did more things right that I didn't do not right. I hope that I have a big family, a lot of loving kids, a lot of them, a lot of loving grandkids. I hope I'm still together with my wife. I hope I hope I had a really fucking good time and I did a lot of crazy things and a lot of cool adventures. I think that's what I'm really more wondering about. Like, how do I think about my life when I go? And funny enough, if I had to go today, pretty happy. Not, there's still more that I would have liked to do, but I'm like, yeah, I maxed that shit out pretty hard. I did a lot of cool things, went above and beyond, traveled a lot. I both enjoyed life quite a lot, and I also really worked hard. I think that's a balance you need to strike. Find a way to work really hard, but also enjoy it. It's kind of like what we talked about before. You don't want it to flip. You want to
Mm.
say, hey, I did a lot of cool things and I really enjoyed, and I didn't always just grind, grind, grind. But at the same time, I wasn't just a leaf in the wind that just whatever backpacked to Thailand all years. I also know I built something and I put myself out there and I grew. So as long as I do those things, I'll be pretty fucking happy when I die, as weird as it sounds.
No, you're the first one to say it. I like it because you just made me think. Reflecting on your life upon your death, that's where the juice is, man.
Yeah.
Because your whole life you go by without ever noticing.
Yeah.
But if you have that moment, it sounds terrible, but that bedridden moment when you look back, that's where all the magic will be. The good, the bad, the crying, the laugh. That's where all the juice is on that final reflection.
Mm.
That might be peak reflection, man.
Yeah.
You gave me something to think about.
Yeah. I think ultimately death is between you and you. It's everybody
Yeah.
dies alone.
True.
So I think, you're going to have a pretty hard look at yourself. That better be good. You better be able to look yourself in the eye and be like, yeah, I did well. Not perfect, but I did fucking well. I'm good. I'm ready. I'm ready to go now, wherever
Ready.
it brings me.
Whatever it is. Max, you've been awesome, man. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank you, man. It's been my pleasure. Great fucking questions. And I love that story about the old lady. That was some real philosophy, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.